of fake meat.
Con el mío sí se alcanza a ver bien, güey. Ahorita se los paso.
What do you have to say about young men dropping dead of heart attacks every day? Why won't you answer these basic questions? Greta, how many times did you rehearse your arrest at the German coal mine? Klaus Schwab himself could be deauthorized if he tests positive.
That's correct.
Welcome back to the channel. Here we go.
With all the electronics working until they weren't.
There was some amazing lightning over there.
But was it lightning?
It was right around there, I think. Oh, shit! It was pretty close, actually.
Oh dear. Couldn't be an EMP, could it?
No, that we're not moving forward anymore.
No, surely not. An EMP would knock out electronics.
No power supply anymore, or the electronic fails completely.
Was someone trying to thwart their trip to the most remote uninhabited island on planet Earth? Bouvetøya, as the Norwegians say. They landed and were greeted by friends. But back to work, off to reach the top of the island to plant a time capsule. But wait, a storm snowed them out, and they almost fell into this. What's this on Bouvet Island? There's more to this tale than meets the eye. See you in the comments. Take care.
Not a whole lot of people are talking about this, but it's been a surprisingly interesting year for the discovery of new species. I already mentioned before how hundreds of new species were discovered in Africa's Sky Islands, as well as thousands of new marine creatures discovered off the coast of Chile. But it was also reported that a 500 million year old sea creature was discovered in Canada on June 27th, as well as a report from July 7th of a new alien-like species with 20 arms lurking deep within the Antarctic Ocean. The specific creature in question is called an Antarctic strawberry star, and it apparently not only has tentacles but feathers as well. There was also a new sticky creature discovered in China, and a large creature with long nails and red eyes discovered in South India. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if something game-changing was discovered like Bigfoot, Wendigo, or maybe some sort of large sea creature which would make us have to rethink our world's ecosystems and what may or may not exist today. Regardless, there's been a lot of strange creatures discovered recently, so leave a like and let me know what you think about us in the comments.
So what's the etymology of mortgage in the first instance? Death grip, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
Mortgage means death grip in French.
Because the minute you miss a payment, when you get a mortgage, it goes straight into the insurance company that the mortgage company have.
And they want you to miss a payment.
And they want you to miss a payment because they don't lend you money.
You apply for a mortgage. They don't have the $100,000, but you come along with your block black capital signature, you sign the application, they then monetize your signature by having $100,000 worth of your value discharged against your treasury bond.
Yes.
They then lend to you.
The signature is what they want. Then they tell you, okay, you have to be a good boy and you have to be a good credit and you can borrow from me. So they lend you a piece of paper that you sign with very fine writing in the back. That's where the legalese comes in. Then you sign it, signature. They take that and they tell you the funds will be ready in 2 to 3 days to come back. The following day with the signature, they paid the $100,000. They never disclose to you that, okay, we got paid. No. They come back when you go on the third day, they've already got their money. They say to you, okay, this is the agreement. You pay so much every month, the interest rate, all that you've already signed for. So now they put $100,000 on the computer screen for you so you can finish your house closing. Now that $100,000 is just numbers. It is not money. There's no money pass, no cash. If you don't pay, they take the house. They don't want nothing. They want the property because the money is just paper. It has no value. So the property has value, so they take the property. Why should you have to pay for parking when you own the roads? We owned it. We own everything. So they would write to you and said you have to pay. If you pay within a certain time, it's only half. You have to pay half of the fine.
What's your response?
My response is I don't have to pay any, because I don't have a contract with you. The person that you addressed in this letter is spiritually dead and have no soul, which is your straw man.
The straw man.
Yes. And there's a fine behind this. They refused to answer, so I sent them. The following letter was a default letter. When I sent them that, 5 days later, I received a letter stating that the account is closed and I do not owe.
Jeffrey, thanks so much for joining us. So you left your job with Google in part because you say you want to focus solely on your concerns about AI. You've spoken out saying that AI could manipulate.
Well, eventually, if it gets to be much smarter than us, it'll be very good at manipulation because it will have learned that from us. And there are very few examples of a more intelligent thing being controlled by a less intelligent thing. And it knows how to program, so it'll figure out ways of getting around restrictions we put on it. It'll figure out ways of manipulating people to do what it wants.
AI, artificial intelligence. So, you know, I've got to realize, yeah, a lot of these bots that come on chatting crap on people's posts, and I mean all types of posts, yeah, AI, they are not real people. And you know what, if you've got a ton of followers, yeah, I'm guaranteeing that most of your followers are not even fucking real. What is this? I got 30k followers, yeah, right? And I noticed I think about 500 of that 30k are actually real people. The rest, I don't know who the fuck they are, bruv. This is nuts. This is nuts. But they got the AI bots running down people's accounts, yeah, trolling them, like stupid, saying stupid stuff, repeating things and stuff. Has anybody noticed this shit?
What would be the most nightmare scenario you can imagine with AI and robotics that might present a danger to people?
The most nightmare scenario I can imagine with AI and robotics is a world where robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge.
What's up?
Are you over 18?
Yeah.
Would you mind, I'll give you $20 to serve my wife paperwork for a divorce because I caught her cheating last week. You want to do it?
Yes, sir. I don't like cheaters.
Yeah, neither do I. Okay, you want to just move your bike off to the side?
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what you have to do.
No worries. What in the This is like some GTA mission right here, dude. What? Oh, dude, this dude, I don't even know, like, I'll just park right there. SD legit, official paper server.
Okay, so, I really appreciate this.
Not a problem.
I just filed this yesterday.
Okay.
And so I gotta get it served today because I'm going out of town tomorrow.
No worries.
So, 2 blocks that away.
Okay. I just got approached by some random dude whose was cheating on him. This dude's a beast. He's in that Porsche Carrera right there. So I get to go break it to the and it's all gonna be on footage and it's all gonna go on YouTube.
Wait until she finds out Richard Simmons never wore a headband. Stop. What do you think they did? Went through the whole internet and scrubbed every photo of Richard Simmons ever wearing a headband? That's crazy. I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say. Okay, but what if we Google people who have dressed up like Richard Simmons for Halloween? What if we try to buy a Richard Simmons costume now? What? Why are they rewriting our history? You know that scene in Back to the Future where Marty McFly's like hand is disappearing? He's looking at a picture because like history's changing at that moment. Is that what's happening? They're trying to make us look crazy, and it's gonna fucking work. They're gonna put us all in mental institutions.
It is not uncommon for machines in the mechanical kingdom to mimic what they observe in the animal kingdom. Unfortunately, this act of imitation can sometimes turn deadly. Much like the cartwheeling spider found in the deserts of Morocco, the excavator will also attempt to tumble down hills to escape the danger of deadly predators. However, the excavator does not have the ability to fall with the same delicacy and grace as this species of huntsman spider. More often than not, this descent off a cliff will lead to an ascent to the heavens to meet the mechanical gods. That's just a cool way to say this fall leads to their death. Sometimes machines can be dumb.
And this is yet another lesson taught by Ents. When the task is too big, you ask for help. And see, a lot of the times we be stuck in our own egos, and when life get to life, and we take on these challenges by ourselves, instead of doing what this ant just did. See, when a task is too big, that's when you call on for help. This is when you call on your support system, the people that surround you, friends and family. And eventually, you will get the task done. And see, this ant knew that simple science, it didn't waste no time going to get help. And see, now somebody is only as strong as their support system or their network. And once you fall, who gonna help you get back up? Who gonna help you move that rock? So don't be afraid to ask for help, gang. Because a lot of the times we let our ego self-sabotage ourselves. And we drown before we ask for help. Now let me know y'all thoughts on this video in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom, and share it to somebody that does not know. And remember, if y'all want the sauce on how to blow up on social media, comment down below ATM. I'm gonna send it right to y'all.
No way.
Tiny magnets placed on the ball, ensuring a strong attraction to the metal rim. Watch.
Come on, magnets on the ball.
You can shoot that 1,000 times.
What? It literally hit the backboard and still didn't fall off? This look says it all. A 1 in a million shot, right? What? Maybe it's not a joke.
Oh, your rings real?
No.
Oh. So it was scripted. You knew you was getting them.
Of course, all day, every day.
Yeah. So y'all knew you was getting them that year.
I did.
Yeah.
There's a script. True story. I never told the story. In the first round, my first championship, in the first round, I forget who we were playing. I hear Phil Jackson tell Gary Vitti, hey, get us some hotels in Indiana, because that's where we're going to play in the finals. This was like before game one in the finals, and like it didn't hit me until we got to Indiana.
Or maybe he just knew that they were the best team in the East.
I don't know. I'm just telling you what I heard the man say. We haven't even played one game yet. They were back at me. He's like, yeah, get us some, hotel rooms in Indiana. I don't want to stay in Indiana. I want to stay on the, outside of Indiana.
Are you happy they cast you in the role of Shaquille O'Neal?
Yes, I'm very, very happy. And I'm glad we beat Reggie Miller.
Because I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison?
Turning the Oscars into an everyone's invited dinner party with dinner.
What do you think? Julia wants cheese. Who's your favorite movie star? They're here. Well, who do you want to talk to?
And then passing a very famous hat to pay the delivery guy.
What do you have, Harvey? 200? That's a start. That's a start. Your stock just went up. You got some money now, Lupita.
Con el mío sí se alcanza a ver bien, güey. Ahorita se los paso.
So did you know that eels are the only animals in the world that we have no idea where they came from? Like the weird fish in the oceans, scientists have done like observations of them. Eels, during a specific time in the year, regardless of where they are, will literally all travel to the Bermuda Triangle. That's where they link up. No matter if they're from Europe, the freshwater rivers of the United States, when it's time to mate, they just all go to the Bermuda Triangle. It's dangerous for scientists to study them, so it's a bit hard. We don't really know where they originate from. The females and males have no reproductive organs, so how do they reproduce? Also, they did a test where they put the eels inside a bucket. Then, when it was time to mate, they all swam in the direction of the Bermuda Triangle. You know how people have speculated octopuses being aliens, right? People think eels also might not be from here. The theory goes on to claim that there was a meteor that crashed in the Bermuda Triangle allegedly 65 million years ago, coincidentally when the dinosaurs were gone.
They do not want you to think too much. That is why our country and our world has become so proliferated with entertainments, mass media, game shows, television shows, amusement parks, drugs, alcohol, and every kind of entertainment that keeps the human mind entertained so that you don't get in the way of important people by doing too much thinking. You had better wake up and understand that there are people who are guiding your life and you don't even know it.
Is Hello Kitty a cat?
Yes.
So Hello Kitty is not a cat.
What?
She's actually a little girl, born and raised in the suburbs of London. She has a mom and dad and a twin sister, Mimi, who's also her best friend.
What the fuck are you talking about? Is Hello Kitty trying to gaslight us? She has whiskers and cat ears.
She's kind of a tiny little girl, right?
Cat. Why did you just accept what she said so easily? She's a cat.
Yeah, she weighs 3 apples and she's 5 apples tall.
Am I in a fever dream right now? Humans don't measure things in apples. But if that's the system we're going to use, anything but the metric system, right? You know what is 5 apples tall? A cat.
And her world is large.
Is it? How many apples large is it?
She has her own pet cat, Charmy Kitty.
That's just a cat with a smaller cat. She has a tail in this picture.
A boyfriend, dear Daniel, and hundreds of other friends.
And are those also not animals? Are any of them animals? What kind of a sick game are you playing here, Hello Kitty?
It's not actually about child pornography. That's been banned by the criminal code for decades. This bill talks about banning incitement of violence, banning incitement to terrorism. I think you probably know those are already against the law. We toughened up our anti-terrorism laws after 9/11, and inciting violence has been a crime even before Canada was born. No, this is really about censorship. The most shocking detail is a new standalone hate crime offense, punishable by life in prison. Something equally shocking to me is the pre-crime nature, where a judge can preemptively punish someone, arrest someone, put them under house arrest, if they fear they will, in the future, commit a hate crime.
What do you have to say about young men dropping dead of heart attacks every day? Why won't you answer these basic questions? Greta, how many times did you rehearse your arrest at the German coal mine? Klaus Schwab himself could be deauthorized if he tests positive.
That's correct.
Well, the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland is over. They're packing up their propaganda, taking down their Disneyland fake sets. You know, the whole town has turned into a kind of Potemkin village, like a movie set, but that's gone now. It's just a ski town in the Swiss Alps again. It would be lovely to come here on vacation. I mean, it's a little bit far away, but it's delightful. They make it hard to get here. They book up all the hotels in town, so people like us, unaccredited, unofficial journalists, have a tough time getting in. There are hundreds of journalists at the World Economic Forum, but they're all insiders. They're part of it. They're there to get their new message track, their narrative, and go out and propagate it. No one's there to do accountability journalism, except for us. And boy, did we do it. We did over 24 videos over the course of the week, including the most successful video Rebel News has ever published. This interaction, I won't even call it an interview, this walking scrum with Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer. It's only 3 minutes, but it's been seen 10 million times between Twitter, Rumble, and the other platforms it's been bootlegged on. I've seen versions of this translated into French, German, Hebrew, Japanese. It's everywhere. Here, I'll show it to you because it's only 3 minutes long. Mr. Bourla, can I ask you, when did you know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission? How long did you know that without saying it publicly?
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Answer that question. I mean, we now know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission, but why did you keep it secret? You said it was 100% effective, then 90%, then 80%, then 70%. But we now know that the vaccines do not stop transmission. Why did you keep that secret?
Have a nice day.
I won't have a nice day until I know the answer. Why did you keep it a secret that your vaccine did not stop transmission?
Is it time to apologise to the world, sir? To give refunds back to the countries that poured all their money into your vaccine that doesn't work, your ineffective vaccine?
Yeah, you have a little bit around.
Are you not ashamed of what you've done in the last couple of years?
Do you have any apologies to the public, sir?
Are you proud of it? You've made millions on the backs of people's entire livelihoods. How does that feel to walk the streets as a millionaire on the backs of the regular person at home in Australia, in England, in Canada?
What do you think about on your yacht, sir? What do you think about on your private jet? Are you worried about product liability? Are you worried about myocarditis?
What about the sudden deaths?
What do you have to say about young men dropping dead of heart attacks every day? Why won't you answer these basic questions? No apologies, sir.
Do you think you should be charged criminally for some of the criminal behaviour you've obviously been a part of?
How much money have you personally made off the vaccine?
How many boosters do you think it'll take for you to be happy enough with your earnings? Nothing?
Who did you meet with here in secret? Will you disclose who you met with? Who did you pay commissions to? In the past, Pfizer has paid $2.3 billion in fines for deceptive marketing. Have you engaged in that same conduct again? Are you under investigation like you were before for your deceptive marketing, sir?
If any other product in the world doesn't work as promised, you get a refund. Should you not refund to countries that laid out billions for your ineffective vaccine?
Are you used to only sympathetic media, so you don't know how to answer any questions?
Shame on you, sir.
Shame on you. Millions of people around the world really resonated with that. For 2 years, they've been shaking their fists at their TV while journalists lobbed softball questions to Albert Bourla. I'm not saying my questions or Avi's questions were perfect. We had to come up with them literally on the fly. We had only moments to think about them, but I think we put some good questions to him, and his haughty non-answers, I think, told the story. And then amazingly, the very next day, we encountered Greta Thunberg, the child prophet, who's actually 20 years old. The child actor is what I call her. That was a 20-minute walk and talk interview. I won't show you all 20 minutes, but here's a couple of highlights from it. Greta, how many times did you rehearse your arrest at the German coal mine? How many times did you rehearse it? Because it looks staged. Is it true? You never protest Saudi Arabia or Russia. You only protest Western energy. Why have you never criticized Vladimir Putin or OPEC?
Yeah, I have never done that. Never, ever.
Well, will you do so now? Will you condemn OPEC energy? Why won't you condemn private jets? Have you ever been on a private jet even once?
I own 100 private jets.
Well, have you been on, how about once? Have you ever been on a private jet?
All the time, yes.
I wonder why you won't answer me in a straight answer.
Can you tell us who you're having talks to? No.
Why are you having secret meetings? Let's get back to those private meetings. Why are you having private meetings? Secret meetings. Who are they having secret meetings with?
Come on, let other people ask questions.
Yes, please. You believe them?
It's free speech, isn't it?
In addition to scrumming VVIPs like that, we did some other journalism too. We went into some of the pavilions. We talked to people who didn't run away from us. Here's a few highlights of that. So Klaus Schwab himself could be deauthorized if he tests positive.
That's correct.
Wow. It's a very powerful control that you're perhaps one of the most powerful people here. I mean, you just are such a friendly face. I thought I'd say hi. We walked in earlier. I mean, the doors open. We saw people coming and going. They are extremely secretive, as is all of Davos.
Patrick, can someone help, please?
Help what? Hi. Hi. I don't know. I'm talking. She won't talk to me. I don't understand. Okay. Well, the door was open. Well, I want to understand what BlackRock's doing. I mean, you got your big black vehicles here. Larry Fink's on the board. So what are you guys here to do?
So I need to go. You approached me, so you're forcing me to go.
Okay, where are you going? Where are you going? Are there any advocates or activists for Russia here?
No, of course not. The Russians are forbidden here.
Okay, when you say of course not, have they been banned or something, or they just don't show up?
As you know, that... okay, I'm sorry, because Russians are not welcome here.
All in all, I think it was a very successful trip, not just measured by view count, but the fact that we were asking contrarian questions, skeptical questions, which I think is the root of real journalism. What a difference from the official snobby propaganda class. You know, one of the most telling moments for me was when we were asking Greta Thunberg questions and other journalists in the press pack either heckled us, told us to stop, or answered the questions for her. Here's just a taste of that. He's answering for you. He's answering for you. He said you had an agency.
Sometimes I wish I had one. It would be much simpler then.
Well, who was filming you then?
I don't know media.
You don't know who was filming you in Germany? He said he knows. He says it was an agency.
News agency, you idiot.
Exactly.
Come on. Get out.
Rita, maybe you want to talk to a real journalist. What did you do here in Davos to go this successful?
The nerve of that one guy to say, here's a question from a real journalist, and then to lob a softball. Mate, we know who the real journalists are, even if we don't have official accreditation. In fact, because we don't have official accreditation, there was another citizen journalist here from Japan named Masako. What a lovely young woman. She actually told us that she was inspired to become a citizen journalist by watching our reporter Avi Yamini here last year. I just want to show you a very short clip of Masako doing our style of journalism. She actually found Klaus Schwab. It's a very short exchange, but very revealing. Here's our friend Masako.
Chairman Champion Schwab, I'm from Japan. May I ask you for? I'm from Japan.
Yeah.
And may I ask you for a comment?
No,
We're on our way to the next thing. We're a bit late.
I can just walk with you and then ask
I
questions.
think we're gonna rush actually. But thank you. Thanks very much.
Which media are you with?
I am an independent journalist from Japan.
No, thank you very much.
Yes.
I have to ask.
Thank you.
Good for her, and shame on Klaus Schwab. Well, we're about to pack up now. Our flight leaves in a few hours. Avi is already headed back to Australia, a very long journey. Me and another journalist are headed back to Canada. We have a few folks here from the UK, too. I thought it was a great week of getting to know our other teammates from around the world. I wish we had more time to do, I don't know, touristy things, but there was no time for that because we weren't staying in Davos proper. We had to get up early to take the bus or train or car into the town, and then we were editing our videos late at night. We often ate at our Airbnb. We cooked a home-cooked meal, not just to save money, but to save time. To film all day and edit all night was quite a labor, but I hope you think it was worth it. And frankly, I hope you're proud of us, as I'm proud of our team. To see our people from different countries and different backgrounds working together with a common purpose and having such success really made me feel great. I really felt like Rebel News hit a new milestone. And to see the reaction online from some very senior people praising Rebel News as a team was very meaningful. In fact, I ended the trip, I suppose, with receiving a tweet from Elon Musk, who replied to my tweet talking about our citizen journalism with just 4 words: power to the people. And he's right. That's what we're doing. I'm so proud to be the boss of Rebel News. I never would have imagined 8 years ago when we founded it in my living room that we'd be here at an international event holding billionaires and oligarchs to account. I never would have thought it. I never would have thought we could do it. And we've done it, and the world has taken note. But although I'm glad to get praise from people like Elon Musk, it feels good, I won't lie, that's not what motivates us. We're motivated by our own consciences to do the right thing and tell the stories we think need to be told. And we're motivated by our sense of service and duty to you, our viewers, because as you know, I mean, Elon Musk is the world's richest man, they say, but he hasn't chipped into our crowd fund. If you've given us $5, that's $5 more than Elon Musk has, and that's $5 we put towards our economy class airfare and the Airbnb that we were all jammed in. It was pretty fun, even though it was sort of rustic, shall I say. I hope you're proud of us. I hope we did what you wanted us to do. And if you chipped in $5 or $50, I hope you looked at the videos we made and say, yeah, I helped make that. I was the financier of Rebel News, because if you're one of our crowdfunders, you really are. I feel great about this trip. It's a very long journey home. I'm going to be so tired and jet lagged, but I'll be back at it on Monday. Hey, thanks again for supporting us. I can't tell you how proud I am of our team and the work we've done, and I can hardly wait to the next project. And I hope you'll be there for us. For Rebel News, standing in the frozen tundra of the Swiss Alps, I'm Ezra Levant. And by the way, you can see all the videos I talked about at WEFreports.com. From here to you at home, goodbye, and keep fighting for freedom.
Hey, if you're still here, please do me a favor and click the like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to other people. Thank you.
How did everyone forget about the 60,000 tweets that Chrissy Teigen deleted? And these weren't just normal tweets. These are so foul that I can't even show you some of them. But I'll show you a couple that I think I can show. I want pizza. Brad Pitt just handed us pizza. I woke up this morning with pizza on my chest and ranch dressing all over me. I'm going to jail over pizza. Seeing little girls do the splits, yeah, I mean, just you could look at them on your own time, but these are just filthy. And the reason that these are all deleted is because she said that she was scared for her family because everyone on Twitter is just a bunch of idiots and she had to block over 1 million people. Fast forward a few years, now everything is all good and she's just living her best life with her 45 million Instagram followers. And I'm here to remind you that these tweets happened. This woman thought these things out and she wrote it for the whole world to see. And now everything is just good. I mean, this is what's wrong with the world. I can't be the only one that thinks this is crazy, right?
Killer robot dogs equipped with a flamethrower and a minigun. And before you say anything, I would like to remind you that those killer dogs, they need cobalt. And cobalt is in Congo, which people in Congo are being forced to harvest so that big tech companies can build electronic devices. And that killer robot is an electronic device. Now, instead creating good things, these companies are creating even more death, more tools of destruction, more chaos, instead of solving things. And I want you to boycott these companies. I want you to keep spreading awareness for the people in Congo because they need it. And thank you very much for everyone subscribing and commenting on my channel, because thanks to you guys we can reach even more people. Those people in Congo, they absolutely lose everything. Their houses, their home, their money, their existence, everything. And yeah, currently we are doing a good job, but we can do better. Those people in Congo need to be free, and they need to be aware. Spread awareness so that everyone knows what's going on in Congo. Take care, guys. Subscribe for more.
Do you understand the purpose of professional sports? It's a psychological anesthesia to lull you into a state of asleepness so that you do not feel the pain of them extracting all of the beauty from your future. Why it exists. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just going to ask you the question. Does it make sense to be cheering for people who don't know you to win a game that doesn't matter and you can't pay your light bill? You can't educate your children the way you desire to. You can't take a family vacation, but you're jumping up and down because a full-grown man ran over another full-grown man over a pigskin filled with air. It doesn't make sense. You're broke and you're watching a movie. I want you to feel the pain of that statement. You're broke and watching a movie. You're watching people who are rich pretend to be people who don't exist to distract you from intention in your life, from making your family's life better for generations. And you're watching fake people live fake lives to create real feelings in you that anesthetize you from the fact that your life isn't working. It doesn't make sense. I like movies. Difference between me and you is I can afford to watch them now. And when I couldn't, I didn't. You don't understand. I was so hyper-focused on intention. I didn't listen to music. I didn't watch television. I didn't go to games. I didn't watch games. I didn't care who won if I was losing. Hyper-focus on intention instead of hyper-focusing on distraction. It'll change your life for the rest of your life. What's a distraction? Anything that doesn't move the needle in your favor.
We tend to imagine that in order to live a good life, we need to have an appetite for the truth. But what if, in reality, in order to keep going and get anything done, we actually need to blind ourselves to a range of realities and have to swallow a number of illusions, without which we couldn't possibly have the willpower to continue? So here are some of the blind spots necessary to our flourishing. First and foremost, we need to pretend that we're not going to die, and therefore we have to convince ourselves that all the things we fervently trust are so important and so urgent really do matter and won't look like incomprehensible, futile mulch within a few hundred years or less. We have to care manically about what other people think, though they hardly give us a thought, let alone a fair one. We have to imagine that we could one day be loved and understood, though few things are, in fact, ever more in doubt. We have to stay on our side, though we know in our hearts how beastly and strange we really are. We have to melt at the cuteness of small children, though we know how most of them were going to turn out, and that the world we're teaching them about doesn't really exist. We have to look forward to the next few years with excitement, though almost every new day is actually a scratchy 6 or below. We have to believe that we're collectively making progress, though every invention unleashes a necessary set of appalling, unintended consequences. We have to care about humanity, though most of its members are insufferable from close up. We have to look forward to the future, though if we had a chance to learn what fate had in store, we almost certainly wouldn't want to know. We have to keep being excited about buying new things, though we know how seldom any of them ever really make a difference. We have to keep going travelling, though being somewhere else is always better in memory or anticipation. We have to keep seeing our so-called friends, though we would be crushed by hearing a fraction of what really goes through their minds. We have to believe in the possibility of a comfortable, wise old age, though it will mostly be agony, aches, and catheters. We have to not properly notice how beautiful, interesting, and opportunity-filled life is, in case we were to go mad from excitement and regret. In short, let's not fool ourselves that we really want to know the full truth. We require only so much of it as is compatible with making it out of bed. We have to confront an uncomfortable fact about self-awareness. Those who most know how to enjoy life may also be those who, at points, are masters at fruitfully lying to themselves.
The fake meat. Please tell me, what kind of turkey?
There are no ants on it. The ants, flies, they don't want it.
Need light, bro? Nah, I'm good.
Okay, so here we're gonna make that slight cut that the other lady did. And normally it would break. It tore.
Scooping this ice cream, and it looks like a wire is coming out of the middle of it. I really don't know what that is.
Okay, today, bro, I had to get this as soon as I saw it in the store. What the fuck is this shit? Is that dead asshole? It's a rat. There's a rat in this shit.
Y'all, why did I get it just to try it? And fucking look, y'all, this is 24 hours later. Like, this is 24 hours later.
Have you ever seen chicken break apart like this? Like, I literally just put my thumb in it and it just shreds apart so easily.
Some type of plastic. Do you see the plastic right there?
This is the largest swamp in Africa, known as the Sud Swamp. The size of it is equivalent to the lower half of America. Yes, this is the actual size of Africa compared to other countries. Only 20% of this swamp has been discovered, and it's located in South Sudan. And for centuries, the native people of this land have claimed to see dinosaurs in this area, and also 25 to 50-foot crocodiles roaming around. Centuries ago, scientists from all around the world went on expeditions to find dinosaurs at the Sud Swamp. The experts didn't find any dinosaurs, but the majority of them found huge, abnormal footprints. The locals stated that rituals was some of this one huge creature, but what do they consist of? They claim its body was bigger than an elephant, and it had the neck of a dragon. They call it Mokele Mbembe, which means big enough to stop the river flow. The description of this creature puts me in the mind of the Loch Ness Monster, which is a mystical creature seen all around the world. But check this shit out though. Around 65 million years ago, an asteroid bigger than Mount Everest crashed into the world, fucking destroying about 75% of life on Earth. Now, if any dinosaur had a chance of surviving, it would be one that can live in the depths of the ocean. Now, if this coelacanth dinosaur fish was thought to be extinct millions of years ago, and it's showing no evidence of evolving, there's no telling what's in that damn water. Now, just imagine that you're on this water, exploring this shit, until a Chris Boshlockosaurus sticks its neck out of the wetlands and starts to chew on everybody on the boat. What's your next move?
This was one of the world's first introductions at the time on a mass level to the world of snuff films. A while back, a group of American documentary filmmakers decided that they were going to venture into the Amazon rainforest to film a documentary about a cannibal community. There was going to be a director, scriptwriter, and 2 cameramen. They tell all of their friends about it. They'd been preparing for this trip for months now, and it's finally time. And then they just vanish in the Amazon rainforest, disappear into thin air. Professor Harold Monroe, an anthropologist from NYU, decides he's gonna run a little rescue mission to find the missing documentary makers. The plan is honestly horrendous. They're gonna infiltrate the cannibal community and try to figure out what happened and try to get the tapes back, try to find the documentary makers. He and his team end up finding out they're dead. There is a shrine that the community made where their skeletal remains are laid out, as well as their reels of film. The professor somehow is able to make a deal to leave with the reels of film, and he has no idea what's in them. He can't even play them until he gets back to New York. He goes back home, reviews this recovered footage, and it's like watching a real-life horror movie. The 4 filmmakers have a very rough start to their trip. A few days in, their guide, Felipe, is bitten by a venomous snake. There's nothing they can do about it. There's nobody around. It's too late. They're too deep into the forest to leave now and get him medical attention. Meaning, either the venom is going to spread to the rest of his body, or they have to cut his leg off. So they cut his leg off with a machete in the middle of the Amazon rainforest in an effort to save his life, but he ends up dying anyway. They just leave him behind. The group make it to the location of the cannibal community, and they see one of the younger community members walking by themselves. So what do? Do they ask him to introduce them to their community because they're making a documentary? No. They shoot him in the leg so that they can easily follow him back to his community-centered area. When they do, they just wage war from the get-go, which I'm so confused by. The 4 filmmakers, yes, they want a documentary, but they mainly want good footage. So they intimidate a whole tribe, kill a pet pig, herd the community members into a tent, burn the tent down. The professor keeps watching, and it just gets worse. The 3 male filmmakers film themselves taking turns R-wording a young girl. The only one trying to convince them to stop is the female screenwriter, but she tells them to stop because she argues, you guys are wasting precious film footage. We don't have that much film. You can see in the background that they're being watched by the locals. They know what the filmmakers are doing. The filmmakers later find the girl impaled on a wooden pole, meaning a pole went through her private area and then through her mouth, and she's impaled on it. She's dead. They state in the documentary that it's because she's no longer pure. They claim the locals killed her for her loss of virginity. But it's pretty clear from the way the filmmakers are talking about it, the professor has an inkling that they R-worded her and they killed her, and they set it up like this to get better footage. In the end, the community attacked the filmmakers for what they did to the girl. One of them, Jack, they use a large machete to cut off his private parts, and even after he's dead, they continue to mutilate his body. Faye, the screenwriter, is captured, stripped, gang essayed, beaten to death, and then ultimately beheaded. One of the other camera guys keeps trying to convince the other survivor, we have to go and try and save her, but he's not listening. He just keeps filming the assault on her from afar. Now, eventually, the last 2 filmmakers are located, killed, all the while their cameras keep rolling, and the footage is probably some of the most graphic, intense violence you can see on a screen. There's horrific torture, essay, animal cruelty, murder, cannibalism, all caught on camera. There's scenes of mutilation, severing of private parts. Professor Monroe would say he was left pondering who the real cannibals really are. The footage premiered in Milan, Italy.
What?
Where the man who had the footage and owned it and premiered the footage was promptly arrested. The man was arrested for animal cruelty and murder. This man argued in the court, please, You have to believe me. None of that is real. I'm a movie director. All of this is fake. None of it is real. You have to trust me. Look me up.
I'm gonna get into a lot of trouble for this one, but I'm about to expose the most closely guarded secret in the world, the Coca-Cola recipe, which is apparently only known in full by 2 senior executives that aren't even allowed to travel on the same plane together. The original recipe is written by hand and stored in a vault inside the World of Coca-Cola Museum in Atlanta, complete with a palm scanner, a number keypad, and a massive steel door. Built mostly for dramatic effect, as there have been several leaks of the recipe online, and you can even find the entire thing yourself on Wikipedia. The real secret is how Coca-Cola tricked the entire world into spending billions of dollars a year on fizzy sugar water. They're the largest sugar buyer in the world, and although they too spend billions on advertising, they never sell a product. They sell an idea: happiness, peace, unity, harmony. Their slogan went from open happiness in 2009 to together tastes better in 2020. It's just marketing 101. Sell the why, not the what. But was their happy messaging intentionally designed as a cover-up for a dark truth we've been conditioned to ignore? And we're not talking about the blatant health risks of drinking sugary water. We're all well aware of that, but rather what they did to get to where they are today. Coca-Cola's history stretches over a span of 130 years, dating all the way back to the late 1800s, during which time trust in the pharmaceutical system got so low that people began mixing their own elixirs of life at home as medicine. So much that homemade health elixirs boomed as a business in the 1880s, with people concocting potions using the most random ingredients and the wildest health claims. And there were no medical regulations back then, so anyone could mix anything up, come up with any claim they wanted for it, and sell it to others. This is where the infamous snake oil salesman term originated. People who sold miracle potions that didn't actually do anything. But sometimes they actually kinda did, but not for the right reasons. Among them was a popular medicine called Vin Mariani, which was essentially just red wine mixed with coca leaves, which are the main ingredient for making, you know, Scarface powder, and contain the active chemical for it. The drink allegedly cured any disease, as long as you drank 3 glasses a day. Coca leaves do suppress hunger, thirst, fatigue, and pain, so there was a bit of truth to these claims. And so people loved this drink for obvious reasons, but don't try this at home. This is for educational purposes only. Among them was pharmacist turned war veteran John Pemberton, who got hooked on it after he almost lost his life to a serious war injury. Nothing that Vin Mariani couldn't handle, which he loved so much that in 1884 he made his own version of it called French wine coca, adding caffeine-rich cola nuts to the mix, among a few other ingredients. But within 2 years, Atlanta, where he was located, passed the local prohibition bill, making the sale of booze illegal in the area. So Pemberton was forced to change the recipe and swap the wine with carbonated water. But this made the drink extremely bitter, largely due to the caffeinated cola nuts that he added, so he loaded it with a bunch of sugar to mask the taste. Little did he know, his forced changes just concocted one of the most popular beverages in all of history. His accountant came up with the iconic name, Coca-Cola, for the coca leaves, yes, those leaves, and the cola nuts, which today, Coca-Cola denies its name has anything to do with those ingredients, saying that it was just a catchy name that rolled off the tongue, going as far as to say that their drink never contained the coca part, even in the past, which is just a straight up lie, as it's a well-documented fact that it did. Just the first of many lies that Coca-Cola peddled to preserve their happy brand image. It was initially sold as a medicine, a brain tonic, and a temperance drink that relieved headaches and upset stomachs, and it was an instant flop, hitting only $50 in sales in the first year, and Pemberton passed away in 1888, not knowing the destiny that awaited his drink. Before his passing, he sold his company for a measly $2,300, which, to be fair, would be about $76,000 of today's money adjusted for inflation, but still nothing for the billions and world domination that's coming for this sugar water. Sold to Asa Candler, a businessman who stopped selling it as a medicine and instead a drink that anyone can enjoy. He reinvested all earnings into aggressive advertising, slapping the Coke logo on absolutely everything and everywhere, which seems obvious today, but was surprisingly a pretty innovative marketing strategy back then. It wasn't until 1929 that they finally removed the addictive element of coca leaves from the drink. You know, that stuff. But they already had a couple decades under their belt of getting their base audience hooked for life. Then they hijacked Christmas, literally inventing the modern Santa Claus. You know, fat jolly man in a red suit and big white beard. You ever wonder why the colors look so familiar? That's cause in 1931, Coke hired a professional illustrator to draw Santa for Christmas ads. The result was the classic red suit Santa, usually seen holding a Coke, which was so successful that it became the main version of Santa we still use today. Before then, he was more often depicted as a lean, mystical, elf-like being in a green or or brown suit. Using this, they associated Christmas, a highlight of anyone's childhood, with Coca-Cola, giving rise to their infamous cradle-to-grave strategy. Low-key marketing their products to kids, getting them hooked young and turning them into repeat customers for as many as their adult buying years as they can. Then in Germany, during World War II, yes, that Germany, the Coke supply from America was cut off, so Coca-Cola execs in Germany created a new recipe using leftover scraps from food waste like apple fibers and beets. The result was a drink named Fanta. Yes, Fanta was quite literally invented by nuts. As the years went on, Coke's marketing tactics started getting more questionable. More research surrounding sugar intake and links to health issues like obesity and diabetes started rolling in. And Coke poured millions into studies that casted doubt on these findings, funding schools and sponsoring the biggest athletes. Have you ever stopped to wonder why Michael Jordan, the Olympics, the FIFA World Cup, probably the most globally recognized displays of athletic performance, all have Coca-Cola as their top sponsors, almost like they're doing everything they can to distance themselves from bad health. Marketing strategies like these are so effective, they basically hypnotize us, training our brains to associate a product that might not be good for our health with good feelings like love, relaxation, and high performance. Getting their initial customers hooked with addictive chemicals, hijacking Santa marketing to kids, outright denying their questionable roots, funding misleading anti-health studies, and picking up sponsors that quite honestly have nothing to do with their product. And this isn't even touching upon what they did in Mexico. Let me know if you'd want to take a deep dive into that. And hey, I ain't trying to hate on Coke. They're obviously an incredibly successful business and worked hard to get to where they are today. But ethically questionable strategies like these are pretty much commonplace among every multi-billion-dollar corporation. Just remember to question everything. Keep your mind open, always follow the money, and ask yourself, does this make any sense?
So for some mysterious reason, there's loads of videos popping up all over social media of people saying that they've encountered vampires in New Orleans.
So there's a freaky phenomenon that happens in New Orleans.
As someone who lived in New Orleans for 12 years, to my New Orleans trip, and we're going to talk about the vampires that I saw.
Most people talk about a very strange vibe they felt in some places in New Orleans and how in some specific situations they came face to face with what they believed to be a vampire.
But there were these two guys in particular that caught my attention. They both looked very interesting, but I turned back towards the bar so that I can grab my drink and talk to my friend that was next to me. Tell me how, as soon as I turned around with my drink, he was standing there right in front of me, like some Twilight shit. He started talking to my friend, asking where we're from, what we were doing, and on top of that, their energy was just not normal. And my friend's boyfriend...
Strange, isn't it? Why all of a sudden so many videos of people saying that they saw vampires in New Orleans? And what is it about New Orleans? So I started researching a bit more, just to make sure I wouldn't find any evidence of such a thing in New Orleans. And this is when I came across this video of a man who claims to be a vampire. Check this out.
Let me explain something about fangs. Fangs are like your saliva. You don't salivate unless you smell food, you think about food, you're about to eat some food. Fangs are the same way. Fangs are not meant to just pop out whenever.
In this particular video, he shows his fangs to some of his subscribers who at the time did not believe that this was the real deal. So he actually does it again, but this time he makes sure to show people that this is not some sort of trick that he's pulling. Check this out.
I said, what the f?
In another video of his, he explains that he's very old and shows a photograph of himself 100 years ago. Check this out.
Okay. I kind of feel like the more I show you, the more you guys won't believe me. But it's okay. I'm used to this now.
Hi, Mama.
That's me. I've always been trying to make my way into film, even 100 years ago.
Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is the real deal or not. What I do know, however, is that this is not the first time someone claims to be a vampire. I want to know your thoughts. Do you think that this could be an elaborate hoax, or is it something else entirely?
Alright, that's it for today's video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please click on the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks again for showing up, everyone, and I will see you around.